You're watching The Morning Show right here on eTV, the best way for you to kickstart your morning right here on your favorite breakfast show. And today we're joined by Dr. Frank, or should I rather say Dr. Mags, our financial expert who's here to kick off a special series on understanding our financial behaviors. Financial choices have a big impact on our lives, and today we'll explore why our behavior matters and how they shape our financial health. Well, Dr. Frank is here to unpack all of this with us and help us understand it more. Dr. Frank, welcome to the show.
Good morning, and lovely, to be here. And for me, the idea of behavior, people often don't link actions that we do with our money with outcomes, because behaviors are just essentially actions we do, generally speaking, but of course here we're zooming on actions we do regarding money.
And I mean, a lot of times when you think about behavior, we consider it in many different ways. You think about our behavior in the office, our behavior when it comes to our health, but no one ever thinks about financial behavior. Maybe unpack that for us a little bit more, Dr. Frank. What exactly does financial behavior look like? What would the definition for that?
It's regular actions we take regarding our finances. We're talking about, let's take a common one, because the idea of I will go into my bank statement and kind of have a sense what's going on there. That is a financial behavior, right? And often, most banks, they have made it easier for us these days because they group expenses for us. Let's take another one. The behavior of saying, I committed to pay this clothing retailer on this specific date, let's say on the beginning of the month. I will make sure there is money in the account so that when the debit order runs, that money is there. Car loan, home loan, personal loan. And there's so many of them. And can you see it's day-to-day things that happen. So if we become aware of it, we will be able to drive our overall financial health, because with these small things that build up.
You know, with what you've said so far, Dr. Frank, a lot of it is making me highlight in terms of good financial behavior. But could it also be including, and this is where I'm getting a little bit uncomfortable, could it be including, hypothetically, I pack a lunchbox, but every Friday, for some reason, I always go out with my friends in the office to go buy takeaways. Or now I'm buying magwenya more than I usually did. Is that also financial behavior?
Absolutely.
Goodness.
And the thing is, because we mustn't judge ourselves harshly. We must be more curious and say, okay, I had committed to do this behavior, like pack my lunch, but I see I put a few, that's okay. But I put a third more.
Then it's a problem.
Then it starts becoming a problem. Or I commit to put this amount of money aside because actually, as we are going into holidays now, I want to do the following. But somehow you're finding it's very difficult to put that amount of money that you know you need in Jan. Because we always get surprised January comes, right? And we don't know what happened, but we don't have enough money. So it's more around curious, not judging yourself harshly, trying to understand under what conditions are these behaviors. So I'll give you a common one that often people talk. Even the most disciplined person, when you go out to a shisanyama, to an event, it's very difficult when now either people are contributing and then you say, okay, but that's not in my budget.
I didn't budget for this, so no, I'm not going to do it.
That it's not going to work. So sometimes there are conditions that make us spend more. The idea of a sale. What does a sale do? Psychologically, it gives you a sense of a bargain. I'm going to get something more for less. And so you become aware that when I go to a mall, when I go to a season, when I go out with friends, I tend to spend more. Then you say, what can I do so that I don't always do that?
Yeah. I love the fact that you've brought so many examples, because I think now you're getting all of us. Everybody's included in this, right? From the shisanyamas to the clothing accounts. And I think a lot of them are very common. A lot of us have these common financial behaviors. But what does understanding that behavior then mean for me? What will it help me with? Because now, you've brought out my laundry here on The Morning Show. Now, how does understanding my financial behavior then make me a better financial steward of the finances I have?
So it's around the idea of being aware, right? To say you can only change something that you are aware about, right? So let me give you a practical example, because often when, you get opportunities like I do to talk about finance and personal finance, our viewers may think, Dr. Max has got it all together.
That's what I think too.
I also fall for traps,
Yeah.
And I remember the other time, realizing that every time I go to a mall, somewhere I end up saying, let me have coffee in this bookshop, and then I come out with lots of books. And I look at a shelf for them, and it's supposed to be read. I must still read them. And I realized one day, man, there's so many books on this shelf. What's going on here? And I realized that naturally you walk in, there's those top 10 fiction, top 10 non-fiction this. And you say, let me pick one here, let me pick one. Before you know it, because you're walking out with 4 books.
Yeah.
And often books are 200 bucks, 150 bucks. So I realized that no, I love going to that place and have coffee, but I'm going to be more aware that I end up buying lots of books that I never get time to read. So after I'm enjoying my coffee, already I'm aware. This place triggers me wanting to buy all these books. And if we pull all the behavior, all the examples that I gave, you can see that missing payments affects your credit score. Continuing buying books, what does it do? It's affecting your budget.
Yeah.
You're spending more than you have planned. And so the first thing is awareness. This is what's happening. The second thing, what's driving it? Me in this coffee shop, or in this instead of a debit order bouncing, I just don't have enough. What do I need to do to make sure there's enough money? So it really just starts with awareness of all these behaviors. Then we can go into what can I do about it.
Oh my goodness, Dr. Frank, now there's awareness of me and my problems is what you've done right now.
I'm sorry.
But now I feel like I'm going through a lot. But thank you for making us realize that you're also going through it too, because we can relate to that. Yes.
Yeah.
But thank you. We're going to pause it here, because if we carry on, it's going to be trouble. But he's going to be back. Dr. Frank is going to be back, and we're going to continue this conversation, this series talking about financial behavior. TWS fam, I don't know about you. I know for one, I have identified myself in some of these examples. But next week, we'll dive deeper into what really drives our financial decisions. Still more to come on this Think Tank Tuesday. Don't go anywhere.